Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Higgins here. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode, let's open up the mailbag. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I'm joined in that virtual room filled with some lions. I've got Ollie, I've got Chris, I've got my cat Tom. There, and he's trying to play with my hand. But of course, we've just had a weekend. We've had 2 days. What were the highlights? Was it your lunch break, Ollie?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Actually, funnily enough, my highlight of the weekend does involve my lunch break. I've decided that instead of just saying I'm having a quiet one, I'm going to list something that I enjoyed doing over the weekend, or I'm looking forward to at the weekend, even though it's not that interesting to other people. Nice. And my highlight from the weekend was I had a really tasty. It was like avocado, eggs, and bacon on toast.
Whoa!
And you know what? It had the chili flakes, a bit of honey. It was lovely. That was my highlight of the weekend. I'm still thinking about it.
Wow, someone's clearly making money.
Just to confirm, listeners, yes, Ollie is very much middle class.
Yes. Oh my word!
Listen, they can hear my voice. They know. All right.
Oh, what about you, Chris? Because we left you on Friday, not feeling too well.
Yeah, I got slightly better over the weekend.
That's a win.
So, yeah, that is a win. That is a highlight, to be fair. I watched my daughter play for the older group, so just as a parent on Saturday. That was nice. It's nice sometimes to just watch.
Can you turn it off though? Can you turn off the coach version of you? You're like, no. You're like, should have stepped over there, should have passed it back there.
Yeah, I was doing that to the winger who was nearest me. I was giving them things to do during the game. I can't help it.
You're one of those parents.
I am, yeah. Then I helped out though the under-11s, and they managed to beat a team they'd never beat before 7-0. So
that
was a nice game.
Mindset, all about mindset.
UEFA, snatch this guy up. Before you know it, he's going to be on. He might be ensuing for the next Chelsea job, knowing the experience we currently go for.
Yeah, that is true.
Here's something I have just found out. It's a sequel to more value than a $4.99 Chelsea pre-season game. You can get on Aldi. Now I think the US have Aldi as well. I'm pretty sure you can get 2 medium avocados ripe and ready for £1.49, or 4 ripe and at home avocados for £1.29. So it's not as expensive as I thought.
What a bargain!
I mean,
do the US have Aldi?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's the same principle. And
let us know, American listeners. Or maybe it's called something else.
I can just Google it. I mean, I can do that. Yeah, they do. They have an Aldi.
We're fishing for engagement.
Oh yeah, you do that, listener. You know what? Talking of engagement, Robbie Brady. This has got nothing to do with it. It's got no segue. My moment was. Robbie Brady's engaged. Congrats, mate. I didn't even know. You've just found out. Robbie Brady scored an absolute worldie of a free kick against Burnley in the FA Cup. That was just pure art. It's basically the FA Cup's my highlights. Then you got Matheus Cunha, who not only scored an absolute screamer. Yeah, I know. Not only did he score an absolute screamer against Bournemouth, he also decided to spice things up with a fight and a red card. So I'm calling it the triple S performance: score, scrap, shower. So look, and of course I'm going niche here. Adriano Jakusic from Slavian Belupo, gorgeous goal in the Croatian league.
I saw it.
Oh, I thought,
you will not see a volley hit sweeter this week. I guarantee it.
It was. I was well impressed. Yeah, you'll notice, listeners, on socials if I'm impressed by a goal because I quote tweet it with Roberto Martinez. So there you go. And you know what? I'm going to do this because I'm pretty up on this. I'm going finally. Oh my word! Finally, I told you weeks before about my eyesight test. Mike's eyes were right all damn long. Not only did I see Conor Gallagher play for Atletico Madrid via my TV, but in Spain they call him El Pitbull. True story. He came on second half, relentlessly pressed all game. Well, for the cameo for Atletico, he made 2 flawless slide tackles, absolute beauty slide tackles to win the ball off Bilbao to stop their attacks. Just mere moments. It was beautiful. I love a good tackle. And all I'm saying is, I said, y'all having a good time out there? Yeah. Que no para la fiesta. Don't stop, Gallagher. I'm telling you, we need him back. I want him back. Help it.
Yeah, you know what?
He won't come back.
He won't come back now.
I really know why people tune into this show,
So, is he okay? No, I'm never okay.
It's the singing. It's mainly the singing. To be honest with you, I think that's what keeps bringing the people back.
That is
I
true.
think highlights of the weekend is everyone's favourite part of this show.
Yeah, nobody skips it.
No one skips it. Oh my word!
Shout out to you if you don't skip us talking shit.
And you shouldn't skip this because we're promoting it every week. Of course, the incredible initiative coming up by our partners Head in the Game, a free 12-week mental fitness football program aimed at improving both mental and physical well-being for men over 18. The first session kicks off in Dartford on Thursday, the 20th of March. That's 17 days away at 7:30 in the evening at Goals Dartford. Fantastic opportunity. You can connect, stay active, and support each other, which is important. That is really important. And you can all do it through football. Of course, all the details are on our socials. And with that, we're going to hit some news. We got a rule change. IFAB approved a new rule from next season for goalkeepers. Oh, hello. That rule is that a goalkeeper holds the ball for more than 8 seconds. The referee will award a corner kick to the opposing team. And this rule was clearly made after watching Emi Martinez waste 27 minutes per game. Oh, I don't know. For me, guys, approving a new rule is one thing. Enforcing it is another. I feel like it will be enforced for like 2 weeks and then completely forgotten.
That's because you're absolutely right. That's like every new rule they've ever done. You might get until the first international break and then you'll never see it again. That happens all the time. They did it a couple of years ago when they started giving penalties for pulling on corners. It happened for about 2 weeks and then they just went, that'll do.
And remember,
we've gave it a go.
Yeah, we had the booking situation. If a player was to go who wasn't the captain to talk to the ref, they'll get booked. Yeah, that lasted 2 weeks. So we don't bother that.
Yeah. Not allowed to surround the ref. That died a death as well.
When does the 8 seconds start? So the keeper catches the ball, falls to the ground. He comes, claims a high cross, falls to the ground. Does the 8 seconds start from the second that he catches it, or does it start when he stands back up?
I don't know. I mean, how's the referee going to do it? Does he do like a countdown clock with his arms?
Apparently, they have to do a 5 second hand countdown.
Oh fuck! I was joking.
Actually signalled. No, that's true. The last 5 seconds, they have to do a visual 5 second countdown.
What if
Do they get the
benefit? Oh my word! Do they get the benefit of the doubt if the sun's in their eyes? They can't see the ref's hand.
You know what I always thought about referees is the biggest problem with referees is they don't have enough to do.
Yeah.
It won't get enforced. It won't get enforced.
It'll never happen. If it does, it'll happen once in a blue moon, and then the commentators in the game will go, "Well, actually, that's how the rules are supposed to be enforced," and everyone go, "Well, yeah, it is," but nobody does it anyway.
I just saw it says on the Noel Mooney said the implementation of the 6 second rule had dissolved over time. It's hoped that this will reduce time wasting, and it was trialled in 400 games.
Well,
and there was not. We had to test it, and it was very successful. The referees didn't have to signal for a corner often. FIFA Secretary General Matthias Grafstrom. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, proof will be in the pudding then, I guess.
The the opposition goalkeepers against Chelsea will be holding it purposely to give us a corner because then they've got a better chance of scoring themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a free counter attack.
Oh my
Yeah.
word. And of course, I weren't going to put this in because I don't think we care. But Fabrizio Romano gave the here we go for 17-year-old Dena
Oh,
Evangelista from Chris Holdup from Corinthians for 10 million euros plus 4 in add-ons. It's a contract till 2032 and he will join in 2026. Not going to lie, look, I'm joking. I was praying for this one. I didn't think we'd get over the line. We did. I'm just so look at that title bid in 10 years' time. It's another one, isn't it? I'm like, okay, another one for the future.
I don't know if I was being trolled when I heard this, but apparently he's not even the best fullback currently, like youth fullback currently at Corinthians.
I don't know much about Corinthians. I know about
How-
Flamengo.
So if that is true, that's not great.
Not really.
I think I
how
made
are
this
we-
joke last time we were talking about him, but I wouldn't have spent more than a dinner on him.
How are we paying though that much money for someone who's never kicked a ball in senior football?
Because we're stupid.
Oh,
That's why.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just
Well,
looking.
It's
Oh,
not that much money. We'll probably end up selling him for more than that just by the very notion of him playing for us like twice.
I suppose.
You know,
I was
like,
just looking. Oh
It'll
man.
probably.
I was just looking on the Corinthians team who they got in their squad. They got Memphis Depay. I forgot about that. But my favourite is they've got 3 players and they're called Hugo, Ryan, and Charles. I love that so much. I really do. Oh my word. Right, we will head to Kingsmeadow Corner because Chelsea took on Brighton in the WSL and it ended 2-2. 2 points dropped or a point earned. What do you think?
Invincible's still on. That's the only thing that matters.
That's not my question. That was my question was did we drop points or did we earn them?
And my answer was that's irrelevant. Because Invincible is still on.
Bloody hell. Go on, Chris.
I think it was a point earned.
Oh.
First game back after an international break is tricky.
For us it is.
Yeah, because our entire squad plays internationally more.
Yeah, and we had some injuries as well. Brighton are unbeaten at home this season. We went 2-1 down. I don't think it's a terrible result.
No.
If you'd said before the game, "Oh, you'll draw against Brighton," I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, that is terrible." I'd have gone, "Okay." You know, they're a decent team, Brighton.
Yeah.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's like, well, like on the face of it, you can say it's a couple points drop, but we're still like 6 points clear, 5 points clear of at the top. Like it's just nobody's going to catch us. It's not going to happen.
I mean, for me, from that game, I always write down like quick fire winners and losers. They're not really winners or losers, but Fran Kirby's still a top class player in this league. I mean, when she's on that pitch, Brighton
it's nice to see her.
Yeah, and when she isn't on that pitch, they played less well. And look at that goal from Sandy Baltimore was a beauty.
Mm-hmm.
How about, I don't know where you think, because there's a bit of bias, let's be honest, we're Chelsea fans, but is she the signing of the season in the WSL?
I'm trying to think who else have we signed? Because I genuinely
Lucy
only think
Bronze.
someone
That I still think for the experience alone has been crucial.
Yeah, like that, I think only another player that we had signed would qualify, surely.
Yeah, I you know what? I could say bronze or it's a real shame because
she's very good though, isn't she?
Well, you could include Kira Walsh if she keeps up her form. So, what else? I mean, officiating was a loser for me. 70th minute, key moment in the game that was, and there was a handball in the penalty box. Referee said ball had already gone out of play for a goal kick. Replay showed that was not true. And then obviously, look, you could say that was a penalty for us, yes. Lauren James was offside for her goal.
She was.
And that's why the women's game, I hate VAR, but this is why we need it, because if we said this in the Champions League for Real Madrid reasons, the thing is, we're doing so well with the women's game. You have to have VAR. I guess it's the cost, isn't it? You got to implement it across all the teams. And then with the teams in the championship, their budgets are obviously a lot smaller, and when they get promoted, it's you've got to now install VAR in your ground. I do understand the cost effect there.
It's the same thing as why they don't have like. Do they even have VAR in the championship in the men's game?
No, it's only in the Prem.
So like and they've got a lot more money than the women's game does. Even the top women's league. So
it pisses me off that we don't even have goal line technology in the WSL. That alone is because I mean,
winds me up. Yeah.
Well, Vivian Miedma said over the weekend about it because there was a controversy with the Spurs City game, and you think it's just even if you had goal line tech, that's just a basic. I feel.
They should have goal line technology.
Yeah, but didn't like La Liga not have goal line technology until like really late?
Conspiracy against Madrid. That's all.
Yeah, probably.
It's mad. It's mad. I mean, there was obviously another loser for me, and that would be Naomi Girma. And it's not because she's a loser. It's just the injury. I mean, on her debut, man, that sucks. I mean, we were all so excited to see her. And I was like, I can't wait to see this. Can't wait to see her play. Oh. And yeah, that's devastating. I mean, she did have a calf issue apparently before joining.
I think that might have just been precautionary though, to be honest.
I'd hope so.
I don't think it was anything that serious. I just think it was a precaution on that
To be honest, I think we're in a good enough position that even if she was out for the rest of the season, you would almost take that precaution and just have her be out for the rest of the season, recover, come back next season as a new signing.
Yeah.
That first half though, they dominated us. I mean, I can see why you'd argue that it's a point earned because we went 2-1 down, but Brighton were good. They pressed, we didn't. I mean, I think that's as well. I mean, the back three didn't seem to work for us, but again, I think that's course of surrounding Girma with players. I think that's why, because it was like instead of a welcome to the WSL sort of thing, because the WSL is a much more physical league than over in America. That's what I kind of think. That's why they did. Like, there's more technical players over in America. But we did have. Go on.
I do think though that there is a pattern emerging that we keep starting games slowly. And I do think that's a habit that we are going to have to kick because against the lesser teams, we have enough individual quality to pull us through, but we can't keep conceding goals and having poor first halves. I mean, even in both games against Everton, we wasn't great in the first half of either of those games. So it's like there is a pattern emerging, and with the big games coming up this month, if you give Man City a 45-minute head start, you might not come back. Those bigger games coming up, we've got to kick this habit and we've got to start faster.
What do you think? What do you think that is, Chris? Is it a bit of fatigue? Is it knowing that we're probably a head and shoulders above a lot of the other teams in this division, so we are starting slower? So maybe when the big games come around, we'll be a bit more up for it. What do you think it is?
I do think there is an element of complacency. I think we seem like we're trying to beat teams in second gear and only really going up the gears when we have to. Even in this game, like we was 2-1 down at half time and we came out and the first 15 minutes of the second half was like a completely different team. It's like they just suddenly switched on and went, oh, all right, then we're losing. Let's play now. I think there's an element of we're almost trying to play in second gear and see if it's enough to win the game. But eventually I think you come unstuck doing that. And I think it's almost better to start the game high, finish it by half time, and then come off the gas in the second half. And I think we're just trying to do it the other way around.
Blow them away. And then if they get one back in the second half, you can up the intensity if you need to.
Yeah.
Win the game before half time, and then if you want, you can just pass it around the back for 45 minutes.
I will have to I'll give two credits because I've praised Fran Kirby, and I've obviously been critical of. Well, I've been a grump, so I will praise two of our players, Aggie and Lauren James. I thought they were really good, and Lauren James seems to be getting into good form now, and we're going to need her for City because we have got, we have that 5-point lead over United in second. I have no idea how they are in the form of their lives, and with everything going on in behind the scenes, fair play.
Do you know that that sort of touch and turn from Aggie Beaver Jones for James's goal was really, really nice. I don't always think of her as much of a creative player and assister in that kind of way, but actually, she really does have the technical quality. Just because she's a really good finisher doesn't mean that she's not also very, passing the ball about as well.
Yeah.
And also, you know what? I just remembered Myra Ramirez. She made an instant impact when she came on. But again, I have no. The standard is the standard, and she is high standards. Fair. I absolutely love her.
If you had to name a women's player of the season for us so far, would she be up there?
I think she'd be in the conversation.
Yeah,
surely, right? Because she's never looked bad this season.
Because because I think probably until the last month or so, I think Canarid would have been favourite for that. But she's really dropped off in the last 4 to 6 weeks.
Cuthbert maybe up there.
Do you know what? I actually think Ramirez probably at the moment is our most important player because we haven't got until Kerr's back fit.
I know,
and we don't know how long that's going to take for her to be back properly fit. We don't have anyone like her. So when she's missing, you can see that the team miss it. Like Beaver Jones did really well, and she's a really good player, but she's a very different player to Ramirez.
Yeah.
Do you know sorry, Mikey, just really quick. The other player who definitely deserves a shout if we were talking about player of the season for us so far has got to be Hamano, surely.
She's been pretty good. I think she's been great.
You could say so many. Hannah Hampton. I mean, she's one of them goalkeepers. She switched on. She might not get many shots on her goal, but when she needs to be, she's there. She's ready. And what can you say? Our next game is Leicester on Wednesday. United, obviously, they're in second. They head to Liverpool on Friday, so we'll see how that plays out.
Leicester are down at the bottom of the WSL, aren't they? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, they're 10th.
Yeah, but we drew at their place though. So.
Remember that.
Got to go kill them this time.
So this Monday we're going to take a bit of a deep dive into the At the Bridge Pod mailbag because you've been sending in your questions. And first up, I'm going to take the lead on this. I still don't know if it's Jen Nelson's or G Nelson's, but on Instagram, they asked, what do the Head in the Game charity that you partner with aim to do in their programme? And I thought, I absolutely love that question. So I thought, front and centre. Obviously, we've spoke about them a fair bit. They are an absolute fantastic charity. That they basically bring men together through football and promote mental health and well-being. And obviously, they've got a team of mental health professionals, football coaches, therapy specialists, community ambassadors, and each obviously offer their own valuable personal insights. And their mission, it's just to break that stigma. Because we know the stigma. We know the stigma around men's mental health. And it's to encourage the open conversation, promote both physical and the mental well-being. And of course, obviously, beyond that, you can point to they strive to obviously boost the confidence in people, improve their overall health, raise awareness, because obviously, raising awareness to help reduce that UK male suicide rate is absolutely important. So and it's something that we're all incredibly proud to partner with, and they are just so amazing, so impactful as well. That's the thing; it's so important.
Yeah, and the reality is I don't know our specific stats and stuff, but the likelihood is if you're listening to this, you're probably a bloke. And so if you are listening to this and you are a bloke, talk to people, engage with people, even if you think it might not help, it'll help.
Yeah, I'm just going to look actually. Yeah, our audience, according to Spotify stats, is 87% male.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and 34% in the 28 to 34 bracket. And that's the thing.
So it really is a sort of that demographic who need this stuff the most.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Right. Next question. We've got Henry Matt. When do you think we will realistically be a title challenging team? Fuck. Go on.
That's not an easy question.
2035. Denner's ready.
Growth isn't linear, is it?
No.
Teams you have teams a bit like Liverpool or were on the clock where they didn't quite put all the pieces together straight away, and then when they did, they went bang, and then they just kind of haven't looked back. So it's a question of do we actually have the pieces yet? that we need? Do we have the development that we need? Probably not for both of those things.
Hmm.
So when do we reach that? I think if I had to guess, when will we be do you mean like when will we next challenge for the title? When will we next be like consistently
they did say
challenging for it every season?
Realistically challenge for the title.
I reckon we'll be challenging by 2027.
Will that be under Maresca, Chris?
Definitely not.
No, I'd agree. Sorry. It's just how I feel.
I think we could challenge for the title as early as next season, depending on how the league goes. Realistically, have a chance of winning it though, because that's two very different things. Challenging for the league and actually having a chance of winning it's very different. You can finish second and everyone will go, "Oh, you was in the title race, but you finished 11 points behind." No, it wasn't. It was nowhere near.
Like with Liverpool when they won the league in like February. Does anyone remember who came second that year? Probably Man City, but does anyone remember how many points there were? Not fucking enough. Nope. That's what it was.
Exactly. My honest answer to this question is under this ownership, never.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not quite as pessimistic on that. I think we will eventually. I think we've got so much talent in our ranks that it will be incredible if it doesn't happen at some stage. Even us just competing.
I mean,
when we win it, that's 50-50.
But I think again, that's everyone assuming that young players are just going to continue to get better.
Yeah, but they need that leader.
I don't believe that's the case anyway. More young players don't fulfill their potential than do.
Correct. That's just fact.
That's the problem. Everyone's going, well, he's only 22. In 4 years' time, he'll be world class. Why will he?
Yeah.
He might never get better. He might get worse. In 4 years' time, he might play in a championship.
Yeah, but we're also we can't pretend that the squad right now is going to be identical to what it is in 4 years' time. It might be very different.
My thing is, I think to win a league title and to truly challenge for it, you need the spine of your team to be incredibly strong, experienced, and top 5 in their position in the world.
Correct.
We won't buy that, and none of our players will develop into that.
And that's exactly why Liverpool will win the title and Arsenal won't, because they don't have a striker, and that's their spine. They don't have it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? They got Havertz.
He's not a fucking striker.
He's not a player.
Yeah, he's not a real player. Right. Funnily enough, Chris looks like he's read the next question, even though he has no access to my document. E. Woodall via Spotify. Will the Blue Co Clear Lake ownership win either the Premier League or the Champions League in the next 6 years? I'd like to hear you make a definitive yes or no prediction based on your current faith in the strategy of the ownership.
In the next 6 years, Premier League? Yes. Champions League? No.
No. Be honest, do you think at the start of the 2011-12 season you'd have gone Chelsea, top 5 teams to win the Champions League? Would you fuck?
It's hard, isn't it, predicting the Champions League?
You
put your money on Real Madrid to win it.
But it's a cup comp, isn't it? It's one of them. It's knockout football. When you get through that group stage,
we've got a better chance of winning the Champions League than the league.
I'd agree. And that's so wild to say, but it's true because it's not the Premier League is 38 games. You have
to be massively consistent.
Correct.
To win the league.
And knockout football, it's 2 one-off ties.
I don't think we have the mentality in big games for the Champions League.
That's true. But then I don't think we have the consistency to win the league. So
you might not necessarily need like a mentality, like to be a mentality monster every single week to win the Premier League. You probably do, but I think if you're not, you definitely won't win the Champions League.
I think with the Champions League, every time we've won that competition, no way we're in the top 5 favourites. No way.
I think the new format though gives people a better chance of winning it. Like now, you look at it, one of Man City and Real Madrid are going out already.
Yeah, exactly. We've lost a big, like them or not, Man City are a big team in Europe. And
is that good for the competition, do you think?
No.
Like, obviously, it's the most elite of the elite you want in the competition. So if you've got one of Man City and Real Madrid going out this early. Is that good for the competition?
I think it is from a fan's perspective because I think it keeps it more interesting rather than seeing
fresher.
Barcelona play PSG every year and Real Madrid play Juventus every year. From a commercial side, though, it can't be. It can't be good for the competition to have Club Brugge instead of Man City.
The thing is, I like some of those like consistent rivalries in the Champions League as well. Like, do you remember? Like, we had a big rivalry with Liverpool in the Champions League for a long time, and every time that we played them in the Champions League, it was a classic.
It's
and like some of those, it's like and Barca PSG is a good example because they do play each other a lot. Every time they play, it's a pretty good tie, and so. I don't know. Do you lose out on that a bit? Maybe. Oh, maybe they're rarer, so they're better when they do come along. I don't know.
Chris is spot on though with that because obviously it's about viewing figures as well. And as a neutral, I would love to see, as an example, I was talking about today, a Villa Bournemouth FA Cup final. I'd love that. That'd be bloody awesome. But a lot of people, the bloody media, would want Man City, Man United again. Oh, the Manchester derby. And I'm like, I'm so fucking sick of that derby. I'm so sick of seeing the same teams.
There's a balance to strike with that, though, in my opinion, because I think if the FA Cup final, for example, would be someone like Bournemouth, Villa, I'd have absolutely zero interest in watching it. Personally.
I genuinely, and it's just my opinion, but I found the Serie A and Ligue 1 so boring when Juventus and PSG still to this day, but Juventus just dominated I was like, this is boring. I know who's won the title. I don't want that. I want to be surprised. That's why 11-12, when Chelsea won that Champions League, that was quite a surprise. I know, great, but it wasn't. It was like, what?
I mean, but if you're going to go by that logic, we're the Farmers League because City have won the league, the last like 5 of them.
I know. I find that boring.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
And the Premier League is boring. Let's be fair. I do think you need the upsets. You need the shock ones every now and again, though. The FA Cup's a prime example. Every year it was Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. That was your semi-finals.
Yeah,
you might sub one of them out and put Man United in, but those was the semi-finals every year for like 7 years, and everyone was like, "Oh God!" But and then you get the years where it was like Hull made the final against Arsenal, and it was like, I'll watch that just to see if they do it. Everyone knew they wasn't going to, but just to see if they do. On the flip side, though, you can always then end up with a FA Cup final like the Man City Watford one that was over after half an hour.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That's a real double-edged sword, and I think for any big competition, I think, in my opinion, and maybe this is unpopular, let me know in the Discord. I like to have one popular team in the final, like one like quite established team in the final, and then if you have another team in the final that's established, then it's going to be a good game. If you've got one that's not, then it could be a giant killing. That's interesting. If you've got two who like you don't really know which one of them is actually the better team, so you don't really know what to expect in the game, that can be interesting, but it's not going to be that good a game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got to laugh because I saw today so there was some media pundits and analysts going, wouldn't it be nice if Pep made the FA Cup final and won it, because he's pretty much probably going to resign at the end. Wouldn't it be nice? I'm like, fuck off. City have won shitloads. I'm not feeling sorry for Pep because he's had one bad season.
It'd be like, do you know what? Wouldn't it be so nice if Elon Musk, before he retired, if he just crested a trillionaire? You're like, no.
It's just like I can't feel sorry for Man City and Guardiola. Don't piss off. Right, a bit of peace and quiet said if Ipswich and Southampton go down this summer, one of them definitely is. Hey, optimism.
Great escape is on, lads.
We're not in a relegation battle. Do we buy Aaron Ramsdale and Liam Delap? I would bloody love both, but we've got Georgie Petrovic, so we're fine. I'd say get Delap.
All right, I'm going to maintain this, and I've said this 100 times on this show. I do not want Aaron Ramsdale. The man cannot concentrate for 90 minutes, and he has said as such himself. Please stop. Please, people need to stop recommending that we buy Aaron Ramsdale because I don't think he's a good enough keeper. He's a decent shot stopper, but like any goalkeeper, what do we say about goalkeepers almost every fucking week on this podcast? It's about concentration. It's about those individual moments. You might only get one save in a game, but if you make it, it makes all the difference. and he can't do that.
I mean, on that, when did you stop enjoying life? And Ramsdale's fun. He's fun. He's also my signing of the season. I need him to do well.
You know what though?
I'll take him.
Yeah, I like him.
I've seen a lot of this, right? If they go down, let's sign Delap and Ramsdale, and then some other people have added some others in from these teams. And I look at it and I think these are the same people who next year will moan when we're not challenging for the league. You've just signed 2 players from teams who got relegated to improve your starting 11 to take you to challenging for the league. What a load of bollocks.
Yeah,
they're not good enough. That's why they're going down. They're not good enough.
Well, I think there's at least a bit more of a conversation to be had over someone like Delap, who's very young and like coming out in his breakout season. Someone like Ramsdale, he's been around the block.
Yeah, right. Liam Delap is Armando Broja.
Fucking hell.
He's doing okay in an absolutely god-awful team where he literally only has to score a goal and everyone will go, oh, he's Ipswich's best player. Of course he is. Well, that's wow, amazing. Ipswich's best player, fucking brilliant. Yeah, go spend 40 million on him then. Oh, yeah, he what a saviour. He'll come in and win us the league.
Mikey, would you like to retract the comment you made about me not enjoying life yet?
Yeah, Chris, when did you stop enjoying life?
Do you know what? Someone put up about our current squad and about where we signed these players from. And if you look at the teams that we signed our players from, they are all mid-table, lower tier, mid-tier clubs. And that's where we are now. Because if whatever you sign is what you get. You sign from Brighton, you finish where Brighton finished.
No,
you sign from PSV, you
that.
finish where PSV finished. Our entire squad is built up of players who have never played at massive elite clubs.
I think if you do
that's why we're struggling to get top 4.
I think if you do that across the board, that's what you get.
Like we have.
Like we have. But I don't think signing one player here and there from those kinds of teams is a bad thing. Case in point, Gary Cahill, Bolton.
Yes.
If people honestly, but he was, look at the team he came into.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is that when you do it wholesale, it's probably not very helpful and it might well translate into that way. But
I'm telling you now,
getting the old player from there is clearly a successful thing to do sometimes.
We saw him, Liam Delap. He'll go on he'll do the same thing he's done for us as he's done at Ipswich. He'll score a goal, then a week after he'll score another goal, then he'll go 6 games without a goal. And at Ipswich, nobody says anything. But at Chelsea, it'll be a big deal because he's meant to be the answer. And everyone will go, oh, why didn't we go for Osimhen or Isak? Or we should have got a proven striker. You all wanted Liam Delap. And then when we're finishing 8th, you've made your bed.
I just checked. Broja got 9 goals. No, he didn't. He got 6 goals in his Premier League season when he was on loan at Saints. Delap's already on 10. Just saying. Come on.
miles different. I would take Delap because
does he take penalties?
Who? Delap or Broja? I don't know.
No, Delap at
Ipswich don't get penalties. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. He scored one past us, didn't they?
Yeah, that's true. I would take Delap because I think he would be a good foil for Jackson. I think he would be an acceptable enough option when what we're trying to do with Jackson isn't working.
Do you know what?
Two
you
penalties.
Are right.
2 of his 10 are penalties.
Yeah, so he's got 8 goals. You are right. If you were signing him as a backup, yes, but everyone's saying Jackson isn't good enough. So if Jackson's not good enough, why am I signing a backup?
I know people don't want to say it, but Jackson is good enough.
He's a good player. Would that mean you wouldn't want Justin Kluivert, who's got 12 goals and 6 pens?
Fuck off. My God.
Guys, that really annoyed me, that dude. The second someone's gone, he's got his second hat-trick of the
world
season.
class.
Like, please watch the games.
Right,
please,
on that,
use your eyes.
Michael has said, is it time to give Cole Palmer some time on the bench for him to rest and reset his mind? Are we going to bench Palmer? That's the question. Are we going to bench Cole Palmer?
Are we going to bench him? No. Should we bench him? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, because
he hasn't been good enough. I don't know who you replace him with. But...
I was going to say, and who is going to play there instead? Nkunku or Dewsbury Hall? Brilliant.
Oh, right, Dewsbury Hall.
You know, like you've got a player who doesn't give a shit and a player who couldn't give a shit, right?
I,
It just Palmer has to play there now because there's no one else, in my opinion, who can be in that role.
I don't think he should be dropped. But I do think he needs to start being subbed off if he's not performing well.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I don't think you can I don't think you can put a player on a pedestal like that, saying no matter how you play, you'll stay on the whole game. And it seems to me like that's what we've done. And I think you just have to be careful that we've seen the little bits of petulance in Palmer lately, throwing his arms up at teammates, moaning when he makes a bad pass, moaning at his teammate instead. Like that's what happens when you put a player above everyone else. And I do think you have to guard against that because no player should ever become bigger than the team.
There's also a question of do you play him back into form, right? Like, do you want to take him out of the game when his confidence is at his lowest? Probably not. A bit like you were saying with strikers, he is our like best finisher, really. So like, do you want to hurt that even more? It's a bit like Berth talks about it sometimes. Neil Warnock, where he says, if you're shit, I'm going to play you, and if you're shit next week, I'll play you again, and if you're shit the week after that, I'm going to play you again. I think it has to be a bit like that with Palmer. Yes, he does deserve to be subbed off at times, but I think you can't not play him.
I've just seen that Dewsbury Hall's on 80 grand a week. It's the same amount as Morgan Gibbs White. That's depressing. And only one player on the Brighton team is paid more than Dewsbury Hall. So imagine if he'd have gone to them on 80 grand a bloody week.
They wouldn't have given him 80 grand a week.
No, that's true.
We just went, there we go, 80 grand. There's the number. JRMT1, do you think Poch getting sacked was the right move and are we better off without him?
No.
I don't think we're worse off without him. But are we significantly...
I'd say we're worse off.
We're significantly better off without him.
We haven't improved enough for me.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I don't think we're worse off, though. I think we've all got to remember at this point in the season, just like what would have been last season a couple months ago when we had like a full starting 11 of players out.
I know.
Right? We've got injuries at the moment. Nobody's saying that's not the case, but a full starting 11 of players out.
I know, but I feel like we've stepped on a rake and then turned around and stepped on another one. I don't feel like we've improved. I feel like we've done the sideshow Bob, gone, ow, and then turned around.
The way I would describe it is like, would I have sacked him? No, probably not.
No, neither would I have.
Am I pleased that we sacked him? Like, I don't really care. Am I absolutely ecstatic that Maresca's come in? No. It's all just a bit sort of meh, something and nothing.
Remember when we get excited about a manager?
I think we've been incredibly lucky, though, the fact that the league's been absolutely shot this year.
Awful.
Like, no one's seen this fall off in Man City coming.
No.
Nobody. And, if they was on anywhere close to normal form, they'd be comfortably top four. Arsenal would be comfortably top four if they was anywhere near their normal form. If they hadn't got injuries.
Yeah.
Liverpool are having a bit of a freak season. I don't know what's going on with Forest. I think that's bizarre. They'll probably end up finishing about sixth, though, because you can see already that their form's starting to go. And then you've got Villa, who have dropped off. You've got Tottenham and Man United, who are
mad.
I reckon they must have bets on for how low they can finish, because that's the only thing that makes sense. So I think we've been incredibly lucky in that aspect that so many teams have dropped off this year.
How many points have we got this season so far?
46.
46, right? So at this stage of last season, we had 37 points, and we were in 10th. And 46 points would have us in 5th.
Yeah, I agree, right?
Okay.
So think about it, but everyone keeps saying this. Like, whenever this conversation comes up, everyone talks about, well, we was 10th with Poch last season at this stage. Who cares? It's where you finish in May.
No, you're spot on, but I'm just saying in terms of a comparison.
Yeah, statistically now, you look at it and you think, are we more or less likely to finish? I think we finished 6th, didn't we, last season?
Yeah.
5th or 6th? Yeah, 6th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we more or less likely to finish 6th? You'd say it's probably about the same. So we haven't improved. So, but for me, a lot of our players have regressed. And I think that's the biggest thing.
There's a question there, though. So there's two elements to that. Our players have regressed, but we're still about the same as where we were. Does that say anything about whether Maresca's good or not? And then the other element is a lot of people, and I think we'd agree on this podcast, is that in the last two windows, so last summer window and January, our squads got worse. So to be where we are, considering that arguably the manager's worse, arguably the players have regressed, arguably the squad's got worse, is that just all down to the fact that the league is shit this year? Or is there a bit more progression than we think we're seeing?
I think, though, what I would say is I think Poch had a worse squad than Maresca's got.
No,
simply down to the
well.
fact that so many of these players was new, not only to the club but to the league. He didn't have Fofana for the whole season. He didn't have Nkunku for the whole season. Caicedo was new. Palmer was new. Jackson was new. Like, Maresca's walked into a more established squad this year.
Yeah.
Those players aren't new to the league anymore. This is their second season. So I think that's probably why it's sort of plateaued out into finishing about where we did last season. I just think if we'd kept Poch, and I want to reiterate, I wasn't a huge supporter of Poch. I never at any point said he was a top class manager. In fact, probably spent most of last season slagging him off as well.
And saying that he should be sacked. I think a lot of us were saying that a lot of the time last season.
Yeah. But then, like I said, I think the only way to judge a player or a manager is in May. And come May, I think we was all quite happy with how the team was playing, how the players was playing, and where we finished. So I don't think that's going to be the same this year.
It's hard, though, isn't it? Because just the last thing on that is, like, that last 5-game winning streak really did make a difference in terms of, like, Pochettino's legacy at Chelsea, right? In terms of, like, what he left behind. But you got to remember, half the teams we were playing at the end of the season, they weren't playing for anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors here is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. NJ Brandt, is it possible Chelsea recall Chilwell if when defensive injuries stack up similar to Trev? I looked into this. I saw that, is it possible? If you're asking, is it actually possible to recall a player? I think short-term loans are allowed. I can't find a no on it, but I don't think it possible.
I mean, yeah, I think it probably is possible. Will we do it?
Outside of a transfer window, if it's a short-term loan, I thought you could.
We didn't bring Chilwell into the team when we had injuries
anyway. That's the thing.
That's what I was thinking when we had a lack of personnel. I mean, like, we've got one left back now and we didn't play him.
Yeah.
In fact, we had one left back who was playing consistently in January, and we decided that he was surplus to requirements still.
Good old favourite of the show, Barry. Full name Barry McCockiner. Should George start over Sancho? He's looking very sharp, and a run of games is just what he needs.
I don't want us to get carried away on George.
I think we need to be. We're over.
He's still really young, and he has been playing well, but his last few games, like, yeah, he's done some good stuff. He's come off the bench. He's done all right. And that's deserving of praise.
Yes.
But you also have to remember one of those games was against the worst team maybe in Premier League history.
It wasn't a real game.
No, it wasn't a real game.
Yeah, and like, so you've got to be really careful.
It's not a real game.
Youth players, like we so often, and I've done this a lot. You dive in on these players and you say he's the next best thing. Look what he did in this game, like so good, and you just hold back. Not everything needs a reaction.
I'm itching to say this because it's not part of the question, but the pressure, can I say, that Chelsea fans are putting on Esteval right now? Well, you need to stop that.
It's ridiculous.
You need to stop that. I've been seeing, he could win a Ballon d'Or. Well, he hasn't played a Premier League yet, but he's doing Brazil League's better quality now. I'm not saying it's not. I am not saying that, but you need to really wind those expectations down. Because
I'll be honest, with all the hype around Esteval, if he flops, I'm picking a different sport. I'm retiring.
He's one of the most exciting players on the planet right now. Yeah, but come on, you got to give it. You can't go that far with him.
I think we've almost set him up to fail.
I'm worried we're doing that.
We've got to do exactly what I was saying about with George with Esteban.
Yeah.
Give him time. He's going to come in. He's going to struggle with the physicality of the league.
Of course
He's
he
going to
will.
struggle with the mentality of it. He's going to struggle with it like every young player does in the Premier League, outside of very, very few. So we have to be on the assumption that it's going to take him a while to get, if it does at all, to get up to the level he is playing at now in the Brazilian League, in the Premier League. That shouldn't be
All I would
controversial.
say to everyone who is doing this about Esteval is just look at Endrick at Real Madrid.
Yes. Oh, what a shout.
He's gone to Real Madrid and nobody talks about him anymore. Like
No.
to the
He's gonna
point
win a
where
title,
most people have forgot that he's there.
He's going to win trophies and titles.
That's how
though, isn't
little he plays. But
Of course
he'll
he'll win trophies
probably-
at Real Madrid. Put me on that team and I'll win trophies.
Yeah.
he'll probably go on though and be a really good player because
Yep.
Vinny Jr. was the same when he went to Real Madrid.
Yes.
They are very good at not thrusting players into the spotlight early.
Yeah, he's played something like 5 matches this season, but that doesn't even tell the whole story because it's like not many minutes at all, like across the whole season. Like he's clearly one for the future, and Esteval should be seen almost exactly the same for us. Now, Real Madrid have a much better squad than we do, so he will probably feature a bit more prominently. But people are talking about Esteval coming in and starting from day one. Absolutely no chance.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
Nate, when Robert Sanchez was starting, I would call him Bob when he had a good game and Robert when it was bad. When Tom the cat unplugs your monitor or does some other shitty cat thing, is he then referred to as Thomas? You know what? I've never done that because that is reserved for like when you are in trouble. When you're in trouble, you get
got
the
a
full
government
name.
name people when they're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right. And finally.
I really like that. I'm going to start using that when Rob Sanchez has a good game, he's Bob. And when he struggles, he's Robert.
And finally, Fortbeard 215. Since we all know Mikey likes to bake, I have a question for all of you. What are your top 5 favourite desserts? I've wrote mine out, by the way.
I have a counter question. Do sweets count?
I also have a counter question. Are we including cakes?
Yeah, it's a dessert.
Cakes are desserts. Of course they are.
Well, but when you go to a pub, for example, and you look at dessert menu, it very rarely has a cake on it.
No,
Unless
like
it's a fudge cake. Unless it's a fudge cake, like you don't really see like Victoria sponge on there, do you?
Yeah, that's because it's not a very good seller.
I just wanted clarification that I can include a cake.
This is why I'm asking: do sweets count? Because you wouldn't get.
Well, would a bag of Haribo
either.
Consider the end of a meal? Here's a bag of Haribo, Ollie.
But would you have that? Would you have that after dinner, just as a little?
Or a bag of Haribo?
Well, or anything, a chocolate bar, whatever.
I'm going to say no to sweets.
No.
All right.
Maybe
like
we can. Yeah, that's
do
a sweet thing or a
day.
candy, you know.
We can do candy ranking another time.
It's a snack, isn't it? It's a snack, that
is. That's a snack. A Mars bar is not a dessert. No,
it's in Ollie's house.
Yeah, it's in my house. Avocado toast for lunch, Mars bar for dessert.
Right, I'll do mine in no order whatsoever. And I'm glad Chris mentioned about cake. I've got red velvet cake. I love red velvet cake. My own, I'm putting my own in here. My own chocolate peanut butter pie cookies. I made them once. I need to make them again because they're fucking gorgeous. Sticky toffee pudding, apple pie, and of course I've gone classic. I've gone a good lemon cheesecake.
It's a cookie. It's a cookie a dessert.
Yeah, cookies are dessert.
It is to me.
Yeah, that's like a Mars all over again.
No, it straddles the line between sweet and dessert, but I think I would say it's a dessert. Like, because aren't there's those dessert places, right? That like just do the cookies.
The
and
big
stuff.
ask skillet cookies.
Yeah, the giant ones. Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
Come on, what we got? What we serving up?
I got mine in order here.
Okay.
At number 5, I've got chocolate chip cookies. Just very classic. They're very nice. Number 4, cinnamon rolls. They're top tier. If you've ever had a good one, you know. Number 3, ice cream. Absolute classic.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Number 2, this one might be controversial. Pancakes.
I love them for breakfast.
I think they classify as a dessert, personally. And number one,
We're
I've
toeing the
gone-
line here with it. With
Yeah, we are a little bit.
We're talking like sweet treats, really, aren't we? And number one, I've gone my wife's coffee and walnut cake, because
Oh.
it's very, very tasty and I
Oh,
like
very
it.
nice.
Nice. Come on, Chris.
Battenberg.
Oh, mate, I made one of them. They're so fun. I love them.
Nice.
Oh, I absolutely love a Battenberg. Neapolitan ice cream.
Oh,
Specifically Neapolitan, you like all three.
Yeah, like all three.
Nice.
The chocolate can be a little bit overpowering in the bowl. I'm not going to
Mixed
lie,
together.
but yeah, obviously.
All right, just saying.
Chocolate brownie and ice cream.
oh,
That-
brilliant.
Or that's two desserts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but
already picked ice cream,
again,
so you have his Neapolitan on it.
But it comes as one. Like
It
that
does.
is a dessert.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
apple pie
well,
and custard.
It's two desserts
Yeah.
and a trench coat, really, isn't it?
Which brings me on to my other one. Very specifically, warm apple pie with cold
Oh.
custard.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
very nice. I will. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Oh,
not room
custard's not a
temperature.
dessert. Custard's not a
Custard
dessert,
that's
is it?
been in the fridge.
imagine that in your mouth. Oh, it's lovely. Right.
Bob's going to be so
and my
upset he
last
missed this
one-
discussion.
My last one. Do you know what?
Oh.
I'm probably going to go a bit rogue here.
Ooh,
Butterscotch Angel Delight.
I've got one of them in my cupboard. I've not
Nice.
opened it. It is
To
That's
be
a
honest, I
classic.
thought you were going to say the blood of the innocent, Chris.
Oh my
No,
word.
that's a main. That's a main, isn't it?
That's a main. Apologies. That's
On
an
that-
aperitif.
Let's go before line of the week, and it's time for our match preview. Thank you as well, listener, by the way, for sending your questions. Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed that. I
It's
like our as much as I like our questions about football and Chelsea and all that. I do like the.
I know. I love wacky
Yeah,
ones. I
and
love
me.
it. Right, we are heading. You know where we're heading? We're heading to Denmark. We're taking on FC Copenhagen in the Conference League.
I
Here's
forgot about that.
It's a fucking hell.
When are we
I
playing then?
literally told you yesterday. I was
Thursday
watching
at
them
5:45.
I literally said, listener,
I
I
did
told
wonder
them.
why you put that. To be
Yeah,
honest.
what the just bored. Fuck's sake.
Well, I thought maybe
Fucking hell. I
Danish.
do like
thought
them.
you
I
just,
do
I thought you
like
was
them.
just
But...
really getting into it.
No,
You
right.
say-
They're
hang on, did you
they're
say we're playing on Wednesday?
Thursday. The
Thursday.
women play Wednesday.
Thursday. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
They're FC Copenhagen, currently sit top of the Danish Superliga. They have a record of 11 wins, 7 draws, 2 losses. Recent league form, 4 wins and a draw. That draw is what I bloody watched. It was fucking awful. Conference League form was not great. They were at 18th, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Knocked out our group opponents, though, Heidenheim in the round of 32. That was after losing the first leg 2-1, though, at home. So better away than they are at home. Player spotlight. They've got a few familiar names in this squad. You may remember them. We've got Thomas Delaney in midfield. We've got Andreas Cornelius up front. Mohamed El Yunusi.
Oh my
And-
god, it's like remember him, but it's like a whole
Yeah, it
squad.
really is.
Well, we have Jordan Larson, son of Henrik. And finally, I forgot this guy had played for Rooney Badgie. You remember that wonder kid?
Oh,
he's
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He's there.
Oh.
So
Remember
the
him?
last,
He's going to have the
yeah.
best game of his career against us, isn't he?
I think he's injured. But I don't
No,
know.
he won't.
I'm pretty sure he was injured because I haven't seen him play. He had got an injury, and that's why I think he hasn't been featuring for a while. I'll keep looking.
Swedish kid, right?
Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a
Wow.
cruciate ligament tear. He's definitely not playing this week. He's
He won't
definitely
play.
not playing. And right, the last time that we got beat by FC Copenhagen was never. So 2 wins and just 2 draws for Chelsea in the 4 battles we've had with them. So no UK number 1 hit. Yeah. So what are we expecting? I'm almost tempted to go Palmer because he's in the damn squad.
Palmer should be balling out against these farmers.
I'm hoping. Whoa,
Will he play?
will he? Play?
Will he start? Maybe not.
He won't. He won't start.
Would be nice.
I don't think
if he
he'll
did.
start.
Why do I have Mudrick on
I think
the wheel
that
still?
I think we do.
Dewsbury Hall's going to start. Let's be fair.
We underestimate them at our peril though. They're going to be very well organised. There's only like a year or 2 ago that they knocked. They came second in a group in the Champions League with like PSG and Galatasaray and Man United in it or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they're no slouches.
Don't know what the wheel's doing. The wheel's picked Kukurea. The wheel picked Kukurea last time, And in the last 4 spins, it's picked Cucurella 3 times.
It really likes Cucurella.
It really
It's because
so.
it's because it knows he's going to play because he's our only left back.
It's a good shout.
What are we going for?
I don't even know because I don't know who's going to play.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
But then we
I'm
do have
gonna
a few injuries at the moment, so like some selections are guaranteed. You'd think.
I'm going to go in
Sanchez.
Kunku. I'm going in Kunku. He
All
loves
right,
this.
I'm going to back my boy
competition.
Cole Palmer. I'm going to go for it.
Double Palmer this week. Double Palmer.
It's been a while since he's given us he's been a winner on
a good game.
So yeah, he's given us a good game.
Right, we'll wrap up the show with the end of the show game, guessing the player by their career path. And today's theme is, because it's the FA Cup going on, FA Cup finals. So every player today has scored a goal in an FA Cup final. Simple.
Okay.
So, first player started their career at Schaffhausen. Don't know who they are. I'm sorry.
Not a real
Not
team.
a real team.
They then moved to Zurich. We've just lost all our Schaffhausen fans now. And then they moved from Zurich to Aarau. I don't know who they are either. I'm sorry.
Right, Mikey, you can't just make a noise.
Yeah.
It has to be a teammate.
Don't cats do that?
But they then moved to Lazio. Big game, big team.
About time.
Yeah, they moved to Lazio and then they finished their career at Chelsea. Come on.
You know what? For a minute, then, I thought you wasn't going to name an English team. I was like, how the fuck are they scored in the FA Cup final?
Yeah. Come on. An FA Cup finalist with Chelsea. And then if you just ignore the first 3 clubs, Lazio and Chelsea. That's so easy.
Is it?
Yeah.
God,
Well, it is for you. You've got the answer in front of you.
Yeah, it's true. FA Cup final. And let's just say it was before Roman.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for
go
it.
on, Ollie.
Is it Roberto Di Matteo?
It isn't. Can you name the cup final?
That was going to be my guess too. It was the Villa goal, wasn't it?
No, it's Middlesbrough.
Was it Middlesbrough?
He scored in 1997 against Middlesbrough.
I thought it was against Villa. Who scored past Villa then?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to quickly Google this because I wrote down this yesterday. Oh, fuck's sake!
Varane?
Varane? No, in the 90s.
I don't know.
FA Cup.
I wasn't alive. All right.
43 seconds into the match against Middlesbrough. Yeah.
Oh, it's Middlesbrough. Oh, I don't know why I thought it was Villa.
I don't know where that came from. Oh, you had me doubting myself then. It's like, what?
Good goal,
anyway,
though.
next time. Yes, that is true. That is true. Right. This player started his career at Auxerre. And then he made a move to Liverpool. Before moving on loan to Marseille. And then going to Marseille permanently. They missed the Premier League, though. They came back to Sunderland on loan before moving from Marseille to Panathinaikos. And then they moved to Di Matteo's Lazio before again coming back to the Premier League to play for Queen's Park Rangers. They went on loan to Al Gharafa before making a permanent move to Cuban Krasnodar. And then they moved to Bastia. Then moved to Saint Piraeus or Piraeus, I don't know. Then to Yverdon. Then moved to AC Venezia and finished their career at Panathinaikos Chicago. Never heard of them either.
I haven't heard of most of the teams you just said.
Auxerre, Liverpool, Marseille,
Liverpool.
Sunderland.
So he scored in the final for Liverpool.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. If you're struggling, I like this player. It's not Kaká, but I like this player for literally just one reason. He wore a really nice suit to his own wedding, a really lovely red suit. Oh, it was so gorgeous.
Do you know the weirdest shit about footballers? Do you know that?
There's a reason I know about this.
Is it Djibril Cissé?
Yeah! Yes, it is. My birthday buddy. That is literally why I love him. And that red suit is so cool. Yeah, he scored 2006 against West Ham.
Yeah, he used to wear two different boots, didn't he?
Legend. Love that guy.
Right. He's just that quirky.
Final player. started their career at Luton Town before moving
Jesus.
to West Bromwich Albion. And they made a move on loan to Aston Villa before moving permanently to Aston Villa. They really like the Midlands because they then moved to Leicester on loan before then moving permanently to Birmingham City. Really like the Midlands, this player does. He then moves to Hull before saying, Hull's okay, but I miss the Midlands. So he goes to Derby County. And then he finished his career at Cheltenham Town.
Jesus Christ, Mikey, you've not picked easy players this week.
Well, you literally have said the cup final. Oh, yeah, Cheltenham's in the Midlands.
Which final was this?
2013-14.
Don't even have an excuse. I was old enough.
You know this player. I'll give you the team. Chris said it, Hull City. It's Hull City's final. Defender.
Scored.
Probably a header. I don't know. I haven't looked up the goal.
No, everyone from that Hull team I can think of who was okay, have played for Tottenham at some point. And you didn't say Tottenham then, did you?
No. What's he do now? I feel like he's on TalkSport, but he's probably not. I feel like every former FA Cup player who was a defender has probably appeared on TalkSport at some point. I'll just appear on there.
I genuinely have no clue who this is.
I'm just trying to find what. Oh, he's a Sky Sports pundit. Oh, that's why I'm wrong. Oh, okay, there we go.
Jesus Christ.
It could be you, listener. You could be a Sky Sports pundit too.
Is it Liam Rosenior?
No. Oh, not a bad shout though. Not a bad shout.
He did play for Hull.
He did.
I'm pretty sure he did play
This
for Hull.
guy
at some
was
point, so-
captain. This guy was captain.
I don't know. Tom Huddleston?
What if I told you his middle name was Eugene?
Yeah, like, that's going to help.
Yeah, again, Mikey, you know the weirdest shit about players.
Yeah.
Did you know he's a Sagittarius and his
Name the club,
He's Sagittarius. He played for Luton, West Brom, Villa, Leicester, Birmingham, Hull, Derby, Cheltenham.
He played for Villa and Blues.
Yes.
That's weird.
He mainly played, his most games were for Hull and Derby. Over 100 in both.
Nah, I'm sorry. I got
Nah,
nothing.
yeah, I think we're going to have to just tap out on this one, Mikey.
Okay, it was Curtis Davis.
Curtis Davis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember it as well.
Oh,
what a shit player.
Weren't we linked with him? I feel like we were linked with
Probably.
him when he was like up and coming at West Brom and Luton. No, when he was at Luton, it was before he made the move in 2005. Yes, because Roman bought the club and everyone was like, oh, about the youth, the next big players. And we're like, oh, this player at Luton's pretty decent.
Ladies and gentlemen, proof you can score in an FA Cup final and still be an absolute fucking nobody.
Wow. And if you're listening, we'll love you on our show. Please. Either don't listen to them. Look, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you as always for tuning in. Look, treat yourself well, please. And of course, when we say treat yourself well, we're also proud to remind you about our partnership with Head in the Game, the mental health charity using football to support wellbeing in the community. Check them out, headinthegame.co.uk. So we'll be back on Friday because we've got winners and losers from FC Copenhagen and Chelsea. And of course, Chelsea women against Leicester. Hopefully 2 W's are on the board. We really bloody hope so. We'd like to see it, you know. So, yeah, till next time, that'll be us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.